fellow Democrats, I think I can agree with everything that every candidate has said, except that conclusion they all draw that they ought to be nominated. Whoever is your nominee is going to be president. Whoever is president is going to have to lead all of America. Because if we don't unite, if we can't submerge our differences, if we can't find an area of agreement, if we can't be constructive and responsible and worthy to not only lead 180 million people, but to lead 2/3 of the free and uncommitted world. And the same thing that happened to the Romans can happen to us. You're a wonderful group. I have great respect for your decisions. I know whatever they are, they will be based on the finest motives and your best judgment. And if Pennsylvania should decide that some of its delegates could give me their support, I would be highly honored. I would treasure your confidence, and I'd work my fingernails off to be worthy of it. Thank you, and God bless you.
Will the delegates please take their seats? The convention of the Democratic Party of the United States is now called in session. Mr. Peter Lawford. Janet Lee. Mr. Edward G. Robinson. Mr. Frank Sinatra. If only there had been a Democratic president in the White House these past 7 Republican years, and we had continued to enjoy the same rate of economic growth that we enjoyed during the previous 7 Democratic years, there would have been plenty of money to enact all of these programs into law, plus urban renewal and school construction besides, without deficit spending and without having to raise the level of federal taxes.
For 6 days and nights, we had 24-hour sessions. 6 days and nights, I had to deliver a quorum of 51 men on a moment's notice to keep the Senate in session to get any bill at all. And I'm proud to tell you that on those 50 quorum calls, Lyndon Johnson answered every one of them. Although some men who would be president on a civil rights platform answered none. On the roll calls on that bill, there were 45. Lyndon Johnson answered all 45. Admittedly, I didn't have the problem that some of my people had of opposing Senator Humphrey and Morse in 4 primaries. But some senators missed 34 of the 45. And I point that out only so those of you who may have been not fully understanding of my recent entry into the race, that it was my considered judgment that my people had sent me to the Senate to perform the duties of a United States Senator, for which I was paid $22,500 a year. And my colleagues, including Senator Kennedy and Senator Symington and 62 other beloved Democrats, had selected me as their leader. And I did not think you would reward negligence. I did not think that you would reward me for inattention. Nor did I think, as Al Smith put it, that you would penalize.
I'm glad we're not going to put these speeches to a vote after looking at Massachusetts and at the Texas delegates today. Let me just say that I appreciate what Senator Johnson had to say. He made some general references to perhaps the shortcomings of other presidential candidates, but as he was not specific, I assume he was talking about some of the other candidates and not about me. I have found it extremely beneficial serving in the Senate with Senator Johnson as leader. I think if I emerge successfully in this convention, it will be the result of watching Senator Johnson proceed around the Senate for the last 8 years. I have learned the lesson well, Lyndon, and I hope it may benefit me in the next 24 hours. It is true that Senator Johnson made a wonderful record in answering those quorum calls, and I want to commend him for it. I was not present on all those occasions. I was not majority leader. As Lyndon knows, I never criticized. In fact, on every occasion, I said that I thought Senator Johnson should not enter the primaries, that his proper responsibility was as majority leader, and that if he would let Hubert, Wayne, and I settle this matter, we could come to a clear-cut decision. So I come to you today full of admiration for Senator Johnson, full of affection for him, strongly in support of him for majority leader, and I'm confident that in that position, we're all going to be able to work together. Thank you. I won't attempt to tell you how grateful I am for this tumultuous and moving welcome to the 1960 Democratic Convention. I have, however, an observation. After getting in and out of the Biltmore Hotel in this hall, I've decided that I know who you're going to nominate. It will be the last survivor.